Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we have some Ultra League action since it is returning, and of course we're gonna have 4 of those teams showcased as always to cover my best teams video. Not only we're gonna showcase the teams, but I want to remind you that you want to stay till the end because we're gonna analyze the core breakers of each team and of course how you can play each team so that you can have the best outcome in Go Battle League. So starting off with the first team showcase out of the total 4, and we're gonna use a Trevenant up in front while at the back both Walrein and Snorlax will form a solid backline. This team is kinda thick and this team is relying a lot on its charge attacks to be extremely useful. So I really like how well Shadow Ball is the main move of Trevenant here on Ultra League, while for the backline you can always rely on Icicle Spear being kinda spammy with those Powder Snows, or just go with the Earthquake for the boom against those steel types. At the back we also have Snorlax, which is a thick monster, and I do not recommend going specifically for the Shadow like I do over here. You can always use the regular one because you need that extra bulk no matter what on your safe sweet spot. So Snorlax able to get to those body slams fairly fast with the leaks, but also superpower is gonna be kinda handy, and you need that coverage for the steel types because you want to aggressively switch in there with your Snorlax, draw out not only the fighter but perhaps the steel type as well, or in some cases the same Pokemon, which might be something like Cobalion, which is both a fighting and a steel type, and that with that in mind you can finish it off then with your Trevenant so that your Walrein will have the upper hand no matter what towards the end of your battle. So this team has a lot of options against any battle in Ultra League, so that's why I recommend to you. Now about the core breakers, obviously you're gonna be in a bit of a trouble with your Obstagoon and the Scrafty towards the opposing side, but still you can somehow manage even those threats. To your surprise, you're gonna see that Trevenant still puts off a fair fight against those Pokemon, even though it is gonna be a loss, it's gonna be a close loss with those seed bombs. Same goes for your Walrein, while superpower can always come in handy, especially against Obstagoon with your Snorlax. So they are there as a core breaker, but definitely not a big one for sure. Now it's time to showcase one of my favorite teams that you can use in Ultra League, and I really mean it because we're having Cobalion up in front, Jellicent as a safe switch, and Clefable in between as our closer. I think that this team has a lot to offer, and that's mainly because of its ability to reach to those charge attacks super fast and of course spam your way to victory. You can make quick work of your opponent's shields in no time at all, while Cobalion up in front will also be kind of a safe pick overall, and that's why we're gonna use it as a leader. So whenever you're countering a fighter up in front with your Cobalion and you want to avoid it because you are a steel type after all, especially against a Virizion for example, you need to switch out to your Jellicent. Of course against Virizion this is another core breaker that I did not list here, but still you have a lot of options even against a Pokemon like this. You can either stay in with your Cobalion or just switch out to your Jellicent, and still you're gonna see that you can have a fairly good amount of battles against that Pokemon as well. The main asset of this team is that you can rely on your Jellicent to draw out the fighter, something like not a Virizion, let's say a Poliwrath for example, and then you can finish it off with your Clefable, so the backline can definitely protect your Cobalion from those fighters for sure. This team has a lot of options against a lot of meta relevant teams, and of course sometimes you will lose the lead, sometimes you will win it, but the main asset of this team is to get that shield advantage. So I believe that with Cobalion up in front and with 2 Pokemon at the back that can definitely reach to those deadly charge attacks super fast, you can do exactly that. Even against a core breaker like Goldingo, which I don't think you're gonna see a lot, but still whenever you're gonna see it you can kinda have a good battle with your Jellicent, because against your Cobalion and your Clefable this Pokemon is definitely gonna wall you down. I also think that Jellicent is the main key to this team's success, while Fairwind on your Clefable will definitely help it even more than Charm to reach those charge attacks, and you can be super deadly with Meteor Mash for sure. And for your second charge attack, just go either with Psychic or Moonblast. I recommend Moonblast because of the stab damage. Hopping into the next one, and we're gonna see an Alola Sandslash team followed by two Flyers. So this is a standard ABB team. You need to aggressively switch into your battle with your Charizard to draw out something that your Dragonite might be afraid of. And if you have a high rank Charizard, well, this team is just for you. Especially if you also have a Shadow Dragonite, because Dragonite on Shadow is just gonna dominate with the damage output that Dragon Breath has to offer. If you're considering going with Dragon Tail, be my guest, but I think that Dragon Breath gives you more play and gives you more time to consider your moves, because with Dragon Tail, for some turns you are switch locked in there and you might not be able to switch out at the perfect timing, or the opponent might actually be on the perfect spot to catch your superpower on a ghost type Pokemon like Giratina, and nobody would like that at all. So enough said about Dragonite. Let's see about Charizard, about what I told you about the high rank one, because if you have a high rank like I do over here, I always flex this Pokemon whenever Ultra League is around. Rank 1 is my Charizard. You can definitely rely on it to finish off even a threat like Swampert, because you can definitely survive one Hydro Cannon with this, while you can still go ahead and destroy down your opponents with that double Dragon Claw or a double Blast Burn for even more damage, even when resisted against a Pokemon like Swampert. So definitely an all-around team that definitely relies on the rotation around your Charizard to draw out the anti-flyer, finish it off then with your Sandslash, and you're gonna see that you have no other weaknesses at all. Even the Code Breaker here of this team, that Poliwrath, will be no threat, since you can definitely rely on your backline when shields are up to destroy down even a Pokemon like this. The only reason that it is a Core Breaker is because of the counters able to shred apart your Alola Sandslash, has access to Ice Punch for your Dragonite, and of course Scald to almost one-shot down your Charizard. Other than that though, you're gonna be just fine, and I think that this team can work pretty well even against its Core Breakers. Time for the final one, trainers, and we're gonna use a Steelix up in front. Shadow Steelix is perhaps the biggest threat of the entire Ultra League, and that's why I recommend a team for the final one with it up in front. So Shadow Steelix with Dragon Tail is just gonna shred apart anything that it is gonna be up against too. And you might be wondering why not use Psychic Fangs in order to get it to more damage from that Dragon Tail. Well, the reason for that is that it is more useful to destroy down your opponent's attack stat rather than the defense. That's why you want to do that. And of course, by lowering the opposing defense in combination with your extreme bulk, I believe you can rely more on your breaking swipe. Earthquake is the biggest move that Steelix is having towards the damage output that it can provide, so always go with Earthquake as your second charge attack, and just leave Crunch for another matter, because the only reason that you are gonna need Crunch is gonna be something like a Trevenant, and trust me when I say this, even going straight for those breaking swipes is still gonna be kinda good for you. So Earthquake definitely for your second move in order to snipe down unsuspected steel types as well. So at the back we have a Tentacruel and Virizion. This is a team structure that you do not see very often, and I think I'm the first one to combine those Pokemon together. Of course, you can rely on your Tentacruel as your safe switch, and of course both Tentacruel and Steelix are gonna be weak to your Swampert, actually to the opposing Swampert, not your Swampert. You do not have any Swampert here, so Virizion can definitely handle that threat, so you can see the synergy there. But if you happen to encounter a Swampert up in front, well, all you have to do is to sacrifice your Shadow Steelix, but still you're gonna see that this is gonna be a very close battle. Just consider that you can always block the first Hydro Cannon so that you can debuff your opponent with one breaking swipe, and right after you can definitely make it an even closer battle for your Steelix, while you might actually have a chance to destroy down the opposing Swampert on the one shield scenario. At the back, I recommend going with Leaf Blade and Sacred Sword for your Virizion, no reason at all to get to the Stone Edge, and of course Blizzard instead of Sludge Wave or Hydro Pump for your Tentacruel, because then you can get access to more anti-flying options, and of course Tentacruel and Steelix will help you both growth to encounter those flyers that your Virizion is afraid of. So this is the synergy, and that is gonna be an amazing ending to this video. Thank you for watching, trainers, and for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of my content here on YouTube. With that said, I have 2 videos for you to check out, so feel free to check them out, and I will see you all into the next upload.